Switch gears a little bit. Michael Highsmith's in the studio with us from the Show Me Institute, showmeinstitute.org. And this is not something you hear tossed around a lot. The words elderly student loan debt. So that threw me off a little bit because I asked you a minute ago, are we talking about debt that older people have taken on to help their kids, or is it actually their student loan debt?
Yeah, this is a whole new issue that we're looking at right here. So actually, a report was recently released by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and what the main findings of this report is there's a lot more elderly people who are dealing with student debt today. So in the past decade, the number of elderly people that's 60 years old and higher has quadrupled with how much debt they're dealing with. So this isn't debt that people are taking out for them to go to school. A large majority of these people are taking out debt for their kids, for their grandchildren to go to school, and they're suffering the consequences of going into debt right now.
Yeah, and those consequences obviously are trying to live in retirement, or because somebody's 60 is not necessarily retired, or you're struggling to pay off debt that, if you're paying the minimums on it, you might not get paid off before you die.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of people, this report found, that are missing out on their Social Security payments because those are being reduced in order to help pay off the student debt that they have to pay for right now. So we're seeing tons of people that the amount of debt that each elderly person is dealing with on average has doubled as well. So people are burdened with higher amounts of debt, and there's more people with debt. Bottom line is tuition is going through the roof, and it's not just affecting current students. It's affecting people who are trying to retire today.
Oh, sure it is. So when it comes to solutions, I guess the easy argument is, well, you shouldn't have taken that loan out in the first place. But besides that, what are you looking at?
Well, first off, before we even go into any solutions, one of the loans that was found inside this report is Parent Plus loans. This is a very common loan that parents can take out, and it's a very dangerous loan because there's no limits on how much you can borrow, and there's incredibly high interest rates on it. So this kind of a program can lead to very poor decision-making for people who shouldn't be taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars for their kid to go to college. But it enables that kind of thing to happen. So we actually came out with a paper a couple of months ago that looked at a couple different reforms that were going on in different schools around the nation and ways that we can rein in this kind of abuse, rein in all of this crazy tuition that's rocketing up. And a couple of the things that we looked at are competency-based education, which is essentially, instead of a student spending 15 weeks inside of a classroom and then getting a stamp of approval saying they took this class, they're granted accreditation once they show that they've mastered a subject. So with this, if a student masters a subject, they can move on to the next thing, keep on moving on, and you could potentially graduate within a year. That's what happens in Texas. There's actually been a couple schools that have done this. So Purdue's implemented this as well, and the overall idea behind it is streamlining the process of education so a student doesn't have to spend 4 years straight in college.
Interesting. Of course, those of us who are on the 5-year plan probably still would have figured out a way to milk it for 5 years.
You can always extend it, right?
I'm just teasing. So the other things that you had in mind here, all of these deal with either shortening the amount of time that you're going to spend in school, right? Or somehow agreeing in advance to give up part of a future salary.
Right. So another thing that we looked at in the paper is called an income share agreement. And what this is rather than taking out a federal loan and saying, I took out $10,000, I'll have to pay back $10,000 plus interest, you commit a percentage of your salary. So Purdue implemented this, and it differs from what you're going to major in and what your prospects are for a career. But you essentially commit, for an example, you'll commit 10% of your salary for the next 10 years for this $40,000 loan to help you go to school. So what this can do is it can protect those people who are most likely to default on these student loans. And because these people are defaulting on loans, taxpayers in general are missing out on the payback for this. Whereas people who are more successful are able to pay back into the system. And in Purdue, the idea is that alumni who are successful can continue to kick back with the salary that they receive tuition for, and that can fund future students.
I love that you're bringing this up for one reason, because although elderly people who've taken on this debt, there's no simple solution to fixing that problem. There is a lesson here for any of you out there who are listening who have got young kids, or you haven't had kids yet. I don't know how young my listening audience is these days. I read a great book one time by Dave Ramsey, who writes the Financial Peace series, and they offer these at some churches in the area I know. But honestly, if you listen to it, Dave makes the argument that You're stupid to send your kid to college and rack up $100,000 or $150,000 in debt, not knowing what kind of money they're going to make on the other end to pay it off. When he recommends that everybody go to a 2-year to a local community college for the first couple of years and get all the little stuff out of the way before you go incur that kind of debt. And for parents, that you don't, his words, not mine, you don't spend your retirement money paying for your kids to go to college. You worry about taking care of yourself and counsel the kids on how to wisely buy their education so that they don't come out with a degree in women's studies and $100,000 of student loan debt on the other end to go get a $20,000 a year job. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And really what it concentrates down to is wise spending. And so competency-based education, what this can look at is you have schools who potentially, what in Texas is implemented is the first 90 credit hours of a 120-hour course you can potentially test into. So if you wanted to study something online and not have to pay tuition, there's plenty of ways. Or say you're coming in and you're not your typical student coming out of high school. Say you've been in the workforce for 10 years and you want to go back to school. You can test in if you have knowledge on some of these other subjects. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in tuition.
Yeah, well, hopefully people look at some alternatives like there, because the existing plan, it's just not, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. She worked her way through college. She worked in the summers to get enough money to pay tuition. And, finally, right at the end of her college career, had to put a little bit of her tuition the final year on like a credit card or something just to get it paid. But if it's $1,200, that's one thing. If it's $25,000, because today those numbers are they're out of whack.
Yeah,
they really are.
You've got tuition prices over the past couple of years have been growing 4 times the speed of inflation. It's really you're not looking at the same situation as it was decades ago.
No, very, very true. Michael Highsmith, thank you. Always thought-provoking stuff over there at the Show Me Institute. I direct people to their website, showmeinstitute.org. You can read up on some of these issues and educate yourself. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Absolutely. All right, still ahead. We're going to get Paul Kurtman, state representative, on the phone. He's been one of the ones pushing this minimum wage prevention bill, for lack of I don't know the official title of it, down in Jeff City through the House. It's got to get through the Senate. Obviously needs a governor's signature on it. We're going to talk to him about that bill and the impact of it. Coming up here in just a couple of minutes. 314-969-9797. We'll be right back.
There's so many ways to make love, a million ways I've been thinking of.
This is the Mark Cox Show.
There's only one way. There's only one way around.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
43 for the high today, partly sunny skies. Tonight, cloudy skies, light snow developing well after midnight. The evening is fine. 28 for the low. Saturday, periods of snow. 1, maybe 2 inches of sloppy, wet snow on the grassy surfaces. 34. Sunday, 39 degrees. A little light snow coming back late Sunday night into Monday. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
The Mark Cox Show is sponsored in part by Granite Transformations. Let them transform your kitchen, bath, or commercial space. Explore the wide selection of products in their beautiful showroom in Chesterfield or online at granitetransformations.com. They have the perfect solution for your next project. So Kim Lanham out at the Lanham Insurance Agency is the place to go. If you have questions about your insurance, if you've got your insurance just scattered all over the place, what have we been talking about here today? Health insurance issues, life insurance issues, how much do you need, when do you get it? If you haven't updated it, I'll tell you one thing, just based on personal knowledge. You need to look at the amount of insurance you're going to be leaving behind to take care of your family if tragedy strikes. What's going to be there to fund the hopes and dreams you had for your family? These are important questions. You shouldn't take them lightly. Kim Lanham doesn't take them lightly, neither do the people at the Lanham Insurance Agency. They're out there in Baldwin on the 15,000 block of Manchester Road. You can give them a call at 636-779-5976. You can come in, bring your policies. They'll give you a full review. Just go to their website for more information, lanhaminsuranceagency.com.
Small business owners sometimes go broke. My first business startup in the 80s was a fledgling startup story. Credit cards were maxed, car had bald tires, house had broken windows, and my employees got paid before I did. But my diet of hot dogs and mac and cheese was to die for. Hi, I'm Mike Capel, founder and CEO of Patriot Software. My business startup was messy. Actually, I was broke. My wife and I lived on fumes for 4 years. To escape our financial reality, we played board games and dreamt of someday owning our own boardwalk and park place. That's why I created my 5th successful company, Patriot Software, to help small business owners do their payroll without going broke. Our payroll starts at just $10 a month, and if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. Energy to walk. Energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again. Just like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
The good news? Our business is growing. The bad news? We have to hire again.
The searching.
Oh, where do we look?
What if we hire the wrong person?
Actually, we could use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter?
ZipRecruiter makes hiring fast and easy. With one click, our job would be posted to 200 leading job sites.
But are the candidates any good?
You bet. As soon as we post our job, ZipRecruiter starts identifying the best matches and notifies them to apply, all within minutes. Well,
all right. Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates fast with ZipRecruiter. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by hundreds of thousands of small and medium-sized businesses and Fortune 100 companies. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. Just go